Hi, welcome to Get a Clue Casual Gamer, where we get a clue, CLUE, about a game. And oh my goodness, I have a friend over here. I'm sitting on the floor tonight to do this. Come here, honey. Come on. Up. There we go. This is my dog. Her name is Agatha. Agatha Christie. Yeah, you good girl? Okay, you want to let me do this? You're going to be quiet, okay? Okay, so today we're going to get a clue about the 25 games and expansions that I accumulated in December and January. I know January is only halfway done, but I have received all of my Christmas gifts and I have spent my January budget on games, so the next couple weeks are going to be settling in with all these new games that I have acquired through Christmas presents and through my December budget and my January budget. And I got a lot of games, 23 games and 2 expansions. So we'll start off, I'm just going to give you a little bit of heads up about each one and point out if it happens to be from 2022. I've got my phone here so that I can pull up information quickly. Later in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be doing my favorite games from 2022 that I played and or own, and maybe soon do a of all time. I have used PubMeeple and its little computing algorithm thing, and I know what my top 252 games are according to it. So I might give you the my top 50 in segments or something like that and give you a heads up. Most of them are casual level games because those are the games that I get to the table most often and most easily, because that's the kind of gamers I get to play games with. So, and that's what this channel is all about. So it's a win-win. Okay, let's start with the first game, and I'm basically going by size. I've got a stack of large games over here, and then medium, small, and smaller boxes. And I'm just going to go through these piles as is. I'm going to move this a little bit to give me some space to put it when I'm done. So the first one I got during the Cyber Monday specials, and it was about 40% off with the sale and the coupon. Yeah, it was around 40% off, not quite 50%, I don't think. But since I have Trekking Through History and Her Story, and I've played Trekking the National Parks, when I got this has been on my wish list for over a year. So once I got a good price on that at the very beginning of December 1st, I believe, is the day I ordered this one. So Trekking the World is one of the Underdog game series. Trekking National Parks, Trekking the World, Trekking Through History, and Her Story are all from Underdog Games, and they're incredibly well made and casual level gaming, and just good games. Then I finally, again with another sale, ordered this. I think I got it like the second week of December. I ordered it, and it's Camel Up. It has been on my wish list for a couple years now, and finally, this is a really more like a party game. It's a racing game. It's silly, fun. You'll have this plastic pyramid that you put dice in, and depending on when you shake it out, something comes out, and the little camels move on the track. But if they land on another space that has a camel, then they actually go on their back, and that other camel will carry them if they move as well. So that is Camel Up. It's a funny, especially if you have a good group of people, you can have a lot of fun with this game. And it's silly, yet racy, yet family friendly, casual game, Camel Up. I don't think I've done a video on that one yet. Okay, so now I'm getting to what I spent some of my January money on. This game came out, I think, like 20 years ago, or the book came out 20 years ago, something like that. But this is based on Ken Follett's book, The Pillars of the Earth, and it's about the construction of this cathedral. And basically, you're going to be quarrying rock, stone, or whatever, and putting up the pieces of the cathedral. And first of all, the book is great, and good words about this. I think it's a little on the higher end of casual, or maybe even medium, so it might even not fit in the category of casual gaming. It does take an hour and a half to 2 hours according to the manufacturer, and this is one of those instances where I will hold on, put this in alphabetical order. The Pillars of the Earth. Let's see what it tells me. Oh, it's going to go with the. Okay. The Pillars of the Earth. Where is it? Have I not entered it yet? It's so new. Okay. The Pillars. The Pillars. Sorry, not three. The Pillars of the Earth. There we go. Came out in 2006. And okay, I'm gonna stay on screen, add collection, yeah. Okay, I want to see this one. Okay, own, back. I'm sorry, I'm just doing this, saving, and now I can go in and look at it in BGG. Okay, it is considered, it's considered a medium. So if you don't want to go higher than casual, The Pillars of the Earth is not for you. But Restoration Game, oh, that was by Cosmos, by the way. Restoration Games took a game that was popular in 1979. And this is what Restoration Games does. They take very popular older games, kind of modernize them a little bit, and then reprint them. And Stop Thief has also been on my wish list for a couple years. And finally, I was able to get it. And basically, it's a cooperative game. And it uses an app on your phone for sound effects, and everyone is listening to these certain sound effects, like a creaking door or breaking glass, or sounds of traffic, or step in a quiet hallway or something. And by that, trying to figure out where, if inside a building or outside on the street, where are the thieves or the thief, and you're trying to deduce where they are, where he or they are. I can't even remember if it's one or more. But anyway, crime has been committed. But where? A thief is loose in the city, but you can't see them. You can only hear them. And so that is this kind of deduction, but using your hearing. So I think that's kind of cool. I love deduction games, and so that got my interest. And a lot of people have been talking about this game. Let me type it in real quick. Quest 4. Oh, great, German. There we go. 2017. No, this is a different version of it. Different picture of it. A newer version. Okay, there it is. Quest for El Dorado. It's a Reiner Knizia game. Reiner Knizia is a very prolific game designer. It has been around for quite a while, and the reason why it caught my interest is they talk about that it's a wonderful entry-level, so casual, entry-level game that teaches deck building, bag building, hand management, open drafting. These are all different aspects, mechanisms of games that, but on an easier level. So it's an entry level type game, and I thought that would be a good one for me to have, so that I could do it, play it with people who might not be big gamers, and it would be an easy game, a casual, a family friendly game. So that's why I got that one. Now this one is for sure from 2022. I say that, and then I kind of second guess myself. Oh, not Q or P. I want O. There we go. There we go. Yeah. It's from 2022, and I played it at the Dice Tower Retreat, and it's Old London Bridge. Very easy game. Again, I consider it casual level. Let me see. Yeah, oh, definitely. It's definitely in the casual level. You each have this cardboard bridge that you're going to be choosing buildings, but you're using your you're choosing where you want to place your players to get a specific building to put onto your bridge, and they have to be in ascending order. The building numbers need to be in ascending order, and trying to get the longest line of them without a break. And a break would be like a park, I believe, if I remember right. It's been 5 months since I played it. But it is a great game, and I did get this for Christmas. Thank you, my sister Vicky, for this one. And it is just a very wonderful table presence. And I will be doing videos for a lot of these games to give you a little bit more about it. Now this one I got, the last one in the big box pile, I got because when I went into the mall over by where my parents live, it was like the 6th, the 7th of January, and I went in, and you know, those Christmas time, you have these kiosks that sell calendars, and sometimes they sell puzzles or some games. Well, most of the games were just the same kind you can get anywhere else, and this one is one that you could get in other places, but this is the 12-player pack. I have a 6-player pack of this, which is really okay for small groups, but if I want to do a big group, I need something more, and this is Telestrations. Now, Telestrations has been out for a while, and it is definitely a party game. It is cross between Pictionary and that telephone, that whispering into people's ear down the chain, that kind of game. It's a combination of those two, and they had it 60% off, so I just had to get it because I've been looking at it, but since I have the 6-player one, I didn't want to spend the money on a 12-player one, but when I got it at such a good price, I said, okay, I'll get it now. So those are the biggest ones. Now I'm going to start with the medium-ish size. This is the smallest one on that. And this again is a 2022 game as well. Museum Suspects. It is by Blue Orange Games. And the designer is my favorite designer, Phil Walker Harding. It's a very light deduction game, and it's cute. It's very family friendly. A lot of Phil Walker Harding's games range in the casual level. Most of them do, and this one is just adorable. Look at those characters. And you have the suspect, and it's a deduction game, and you do it, you have fun, and I will be talking more about it as the weeks go by, because it is from 2022. Maui, I believe also is a 2022. Hold on, let me do a quick M for Maui. It's from 2022, and basically it's Welcome to Maui, a paradise where people can relax and enjoy the magnificent beaches. This island, it's you putting out your towels on the beach, but you don't want them to get wet. You want to get as close to the water without getting them wet, of course, figuratively. But yeah, so it is another casual level game for sure. I just looked, and basically, carefully place the visitors' towels in the best spots of their beach to score points. Place them close to the ocean, under the shade of trees or umbrellas, and discover hidden treasures buried in the sand. So it just, got me. And a lot of people have been talking about it and it being really a cute game and not hard at all. Now, this next one I got as a Christmas present. I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah. Got this as a Christmas present from my sister, Karen. And yeah, my Christmas list is basically all games. So everyone gave me a game. So Quaddle, I know that she chose this because of the theme itself. My parents lived in Mexico for 11 years while she was growing up. And so when she saw the Quattl, it is definitely Mexican and Mayan, or even ancient. You have a Quetzalcoatl temples in Teotihuacan. The pyramids. There's a complex game called Teotihuacan, which is, I think, I'm not sure where I've put it. I have it. I own it because as soon as I saw Teotihuacan, I was like, oh, I gotta have this one, even though it is a very difficult game, and I have played it, and it is a heavier game for sure. But this is not. This is basically you're trying to score the longest serpent. Quetzal was the serpent god of the Aztecs or Mayans, ancient Mexico, and so it's just these plastic pieces that connect into a longer snake body. And so it's just kind of like, okay, you choose your pieces, you create your Quaddle, and you complete the prophecy. In other words, there are goal cards with goals for your Quaddle. And so, yeah, it came out a few years ago. It's not a 2022 game for sure. But again, all of these games, I'm going to be working on getting some specific videos out for each one. Cottage Garden, I got for Christmas. I think I got it from, I don't remember. It was somebody in my sister's family, my brother-in-law, one of my nieces or nephews. Maybe my nephew? I can't remember. Anyway, so I chose it. It's a polyomino game that by Stronghold Games. Uwe Rosenberg, which is a well-known designer of games as well. Rainer Knizia, Uwe Rosenberg. This is one of his casual games, opposed to some of his more complex games. Uwe Rosenberg can do some really complex games. This is one of the lighter ones. It uses polyomino shapes. You're creating a garden, a cottage garden, and it's really just moving your player around the outside and the gardener, and then you can pick anything from the row of that the gardener happens to be standing at, and you pick, there's several in that row, 3 or 4 to choose from, and you pick one of the shapes and you place it in your garden, and you're trying to create the best garden. It's a very simple game, cottage garden, very pretty. So I'm thrilled to have that, and I have played it. Again, I like deduction games. So another one, I think this one I got from my actual sister, Karen. Oh no, I got Quaddle from her. Another person from her family. Simply Suspects. It's a deduction game. Again, I love deduction games, but it's a casual level deduction game. Let me pull it up so that I can tell you when it came out. And S for Simply Suspects. Yeah. Simply Suspects is It's an older one. It's from 2003, but it has been on my radar for several years and on my wish list. And so I think I had not put it on my Christmas game wish list until this year. It had been on just my Amazon wish list all this time, but it's just a simple, lightweight deduction game. Simply Suspects is a fast action game of suspense and finger pointing, much like Spy Alley, which I do have Spy Alley as well. Simply Suspects is deceptively simple, yet surprisingly intense. The advantage that one player may appear to have can change with a single move. You're never sure which suspect will escape the grand jury and win the game. You're just simply a suspect. You're not proven guilty yet. Okay, and then, oh, oof, oof, oof. Let me move. It's like, yeah, I'm sitting on the floor. And I'm like, okay, I'm here. Okay, this is the last big box here. Gizmos. Gizmos is a Phil Walker Harding game. I love Phil Walker Harding games, and when I know, I want to do a video about just his games that I have, and maybe talk about the ones I don't have yet. But I have two that are really on my wish list that are newest, some of the newest ones. But this is one of his older ones, Gizmos. Basically, it's an engine building game, and you're creating inventions, gizmos. And I do know that I think it's Wendy at the Dice Tower. This is one of her favorite games. She really likes gizmos. And I have to remember that. So at the next retreat in September, I might track her down and see if she wants to play gizmos. But I'm really looking forward to this one. Now it has a this is the second edition, and it has a plastic dispenser now. It probably had a cardboard one before, but now it's got a plastic one. Okay, now that I've moved that, I can move my legs around a little here and change my position, because my my hips are starting to not be happy. Okay, this one came out this year in 2020, well, last year in 2022. Next Station London. It's a roll and write or a flip and write. It's a flip and write, okay? And you're basically sketching out a subway line. And see that? It's a very simple game. Again, I like roll and writes. I have quite a few roll and writes. And one of the things I like about them is that almost all of them, not all, but almost all of them can be played solo. And that is something that's important for me because, again, I moved here 6 months ago, and I'm still working on trying to get a game group up to play some of these games more than just solo, or playing 2 to 3 characters at the same time. That kind of gets a little stressful. Anyway, okay, another one from 2022 is Downtown Farmers Market. There we go. And basically what it says, it's your favorite time of the weekend. Grab your coffee for a trip to the downtown farmers market. But today's trip might require a little more thinking than usual. Line up your 8 challenge tiles, and each turn position your ingredients at the intersection of 2 challenge requirements. So that's basically, you're going to be collecting things to create what this intersection, this card and this card want. And so it's a strategy game. In other words, placement, hand management, puzzliness, all things that I absolutely love. And both London and Downtown Farmers Market are by Blue Orange Games. They're not the only ones from Blue Orange. I had another Blue Orange earlier. And you can tell because they're exactly the same box. I mean, one is a little bit wider than the other, but the size is exactly the same. In fact, they might even be magnetic closure. I have not opened them yet. Okay, then with some of the money that I got from work for Christmas, I went to the local game store near where my parents live, in the mall where my parents live, and my parents live 1,100 miles away from here, so it's not like I can go to the store often. But whenever I visit my parents, I go to the store to try and help, and be a support for friendly local game stores, because I do tend to buy a lot of things online because I don't have a game store near me. But when I am near a game store, I like to help them. And one of the games I got, I always look for ones there that are harder to find or not often discussed or found in online. And so this one is Gacha. I Gacha is a if you know the concept of the Japanese toy machines, gashas. So basically you're trying to get these toys, cards of course, not little grabby hands or whatever. But if you look really closely on the cover, you can see that it's those little plastic things where the top is clear and then there's a little toy inside of it. Well, that's you're collecting. It's a collection game. It's really cute, and it plays 2 to 6 players, so you can actually play quite a few people with a nice small box of stuff. And of course, it's mostly cards, basically. A game that this is another one I believe I bought at the store as well, and it's that old wallpaper, and I'm pretty sure this came out in 2022 as well. That old wallpaper plays 2 to 5 players. AEG is the publisher. Something Eagle Griffin, yeah, something like that. It's like, yeah, you need to write it out somewhere for me to know. AEG. It plays in less than 30 minutes, and it's a card game where you're trying to match up the types of patterns on this wallpaper that you're doing, and you get better points. In other words, it's puzzly tile laying. Even if it's cards, it's tile laying, and you're trying to create the best pattern. All things that I love. So this made it onto my wish list the moment I heard about it, because I knew that's the kind of game that I really like. And so we'll be looking at this a little bit further later. By the same company, AEG, is Cat Lady. Now, Cat Lady came out a few years ago, and I played it for the first time in September. It's a very, very easy, very casual game. You create a grid like this, and when it's your turn, you either take a column or a row, and basically you're collecting cats, and then you have to collect food for them. What kind of food do they like? And toys for them to play with to make them happy. And when you make the cat happy, they're worth more points. And so that's the game. You're just picking a row or a column, and creating it until the cards are gone, and then whoever has the most points wins. Very simple, very fun game. And once I played it and realized how easy, how cute the little kitty drawings and everything are really adorable, I said, I can get this one played. Okay, now 2022, another game from 2022, Fun Facts. Fun Facts is by the same group, Repost Production, that made the games Just One and also So Clover. So Clover came out in 2021, but it was hard for most people to get it until 22. Just One came out, I believe, in 2020, and I got it in 2021. I have Just One and So Clover. I love both of those games. So when I heard about this one, I was like, how are they going to beat those games? Those games are really good. And I wouldn't say it beats them, but it's the same quality. And actually, I would say this is probably the easiest of the three. I would say Fun Facts is the easiest, and then Just One, and then So Clover. Even though Board Game Geek ranks So Clover as a 1.09, I'm here like, no, it's not. I'd say it's more like a 1.7. But fun facts, really, all you have to do is know yourself, for the most part. That's basically it. You'll be asked questions. I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm going to do a video about it. But it's a party game, and it plays quite a few people because it's a party game. It plays up to 8 people, 4 to 8. It's a party game. You need to have at least 4 people and up to 8 people, and you can play fun facts. And there are people who have done reviews about it. They've done live playthroughs of it that you can watch online. If you don't believe me, if you want to see it for yourself, I will be getting a clue about it later. I'm going to put aside my 2 expansions for last. Okay, now my niece Kelsey gave me game Stroop, and my sister, the psychologist, her mother, said that Stroop test, there is such a thing as a Stroop test in psychology, and basically it's a brain burner. You know, the Stroop test, the basic version of it is, if you've ever seen it, you know, it'll say the name of a color, but the letters will be in a different color. So let's say that the word says blue, but the font is red. And so your test is to be able to read the word, not the color of the font. And so you're going blue, orange, green, even though the green is written in yellow. You know, so it's like it's playing games with your mind. But how easy is that to do? I mean, really, that's the game, is really to be able to do that without messing up. Casual level game. We'll look at a little bit more about it soon, but it's basically a bunch of cards. Very easy to do. Then Tichu. I cannot remember much about Tichu when it comes to what it is, but I do know I put it on my wish list after watching some commentary about it. I believe it's a trick-taking game. It's like over 642 million Chinese play Tichu nearly every day. It's dark in here because there's horrible lighting in this room, but that fixture only uses little candle bulbs. Ugh, it drives me nuts. Anyway, a game is very simple. Just get rid of your cards. Okay, so you're trying to get rid of your cards. It's not trick taking, it's trick giving. He's like, take my cards, please. But it's a simple thing. I bought this at the game store because it's not that easy to find Tichu out there in the world. And so this one is by Rio Grande Games, which is a very well-known game company. I have other games by Rio Grande. I don't think any of these are. But anyway, let me straighten up. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so that's Tichu, very small card game. We might be looking at that again later too. Now, my sister Vicky, who gave me the Old London Bridge game, she lived in Germany for several years, and so every time she has an opportunity to go to the little town where she lived and visit her friends there, she does. Even if it's for a few days, if she happens to be near Europe, she'll go to Germany. And while she was there, knowing her sister, she got me a little dice game in German. It's Wizard is the game, and there is the game Wizard. In fact, I was watching something today on YouTube, one of the channels, and somebody actually mentioned Wizard as an example of something, but this is Wizard Würfelspiel. I knew Spiel means game in German. I know that. But I didn't know what Würfel was. So I looked it up, and it's dice. So this is Wizard the dice game, opposed to Wizard the card game. And so, and it's by Amigo Games, which I have some other Amigo games amongst all my games. But anyway, so of course the instructions are all in German. but the game doesn't require reading in itself. So it was like, okay, I need to get the English uh, instructions. Now, my sister later, after I talked with her, she had gone to the trouble of translating the instructions. But just so that you know, if you have somebody, you get a game that's in a different language, or you have somebody who wants to play a game but they don't speak English or read English and they need the instructions in a different language, check out um, uh, boardgamegeek.com. You go to their website, and then Google, or not Google, but search in their website the name of the game, and then under that, look under files or sometimes folders, and you can often find where somebody has translated the instructions into other languages. And in this case, BGG does have the English instructions in their files. So I was set. I was like, I have no idea anything else about that game except that it's based on Wizard, which is a different game, but it's a dice version of it. There's going to be a whole lot more chance, I believe, to it, because when you use dice, you get a lot of chance. Okay, so this is a game that is definitely a party game. It's for 3 and up. I mean, you could have 20 people and play this game. You could have 30 people and be very noisy, but you could still play this game, and it's called Time's Up. This is Time's Up Title Recall, and it's the 21st anniversary edition. This is a cube full of cards. The concept of it is very simple. It's by team, of course. The first time you look at a card, you can say anything you want except for the name of it to describe it, to get people to guess the answer. Let's say the answer is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so you could say he said, "I'll be back" in the movie The Terminator. And so, yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, there we go. So then once everything has gone through and all, then you take the same cards and now the person is only allowed to say one word. So it's like Terminator. And it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, because you remember that Arnold Schwarzenegger was one of the answers already. The third time around, you get that one and you go, and you can only pantomime. And so it's kind of like, I don't even know, it's like, it's like, I'll be back. It's like, whatever. But again, you've already said Arnold Schwarzenegger twice. So somehow, you kind of get to them to understand Arnold Schwarzenegger. So anyway, so that's Time's Up. And so that's big party game. Pure party game. That's 23 games. Now I have 2 expansions. I don't normally buy expansions. I do not buy expansions except for occasionally I will buy an expansion that will expand the number of players. For instance, for Catan, I've got the expansion to make it up to 6 players. No problem. But, and I'll give you a heads up, when I did that Pub Meeple thing to see what favorite game, what my game ranking was, what turned out to show up as my favorite game is the game that I just got 2 expansions for, and that is Picture Perfect. So I have Picture Perfect. I had bought the expansion to make it up to 6 players, but now I've bought the first expansion that came out, which was the Movie Star expansion, and I've skipped the Thief one. I don't know if I'm really interested in the Thief one, but this in 2022 they came out with another expansion. It's been a very popular game because it just came out a couple years ago, but already it's got the expansion to increase players and 3 expansions, and this one is the Sherlock Holmes expansion. So I'm curious to see how this one works into it. Between the movie stars, I don't want my picture taken, or I want my picture taken. I was like, oh, next to this, this Marilyn Monroe type, or in the Sherlock Holmes one, who's you got alibi cards, and as well as the preference cards, and there's a murderer, could be anyone, even the dog, because there is a dog in the thing if you've never looked at Picture Perfect. And that is all 25 games and expansions that I have accumulated in December and January. December 2022. Hi. Hello, Agatha. 2022 and January 2023. Happy gaming to you and your family. God bless you and your family, and have a wonderful, happy new year. And the next video will be a much shorter one. Bye. I gotta lean forward, honey. Lean forward over my dog.